I had a mentor tell me that historical organizations are a community's memory keeper. And he asked a very thought-provoking question. He said to me, "What happens if we have a loved one that begins to lose their memory?" And then he said to me, "What happens if a community loses its memory?" And that's when he shared that historical societies, historical organizations like HSCC are our community's memory keeper. That's what our mission is all about, is keeping those memories alive for not only the current generation, but for future generations.
The Historical Society provides a very real connection with the past, and I think it's very important to always return to the notion that the past is prologue. You understand things better if you understand where they came from, how they developed, how they emerged.
The Society contributes a great deal to the community of Westminster and also overall Carroll County. What it does is it keeps track of what local history is all about. And it puts on exhibits, it publishes magazines and newsletters that keep people informed of what happened here, why it happened, and why it's important for them to know.
I don't think we can forget history. To me, it refreshes your memory and takes you back to where you once came from. I look at where I came from and how I've progressed. I look at the county, how it started. There's a lot of history that keeps people coming to Carroll County and that keeps everyone connected.
You know, a lot of people, all of us, I'm sure, of a certain age, wish that we had taken the time to ask questions of our parents about what was life like, but we miss that opportunity in many cases. And the Historical Society can fill in those blanks for us in a very, very meaningful and interesting way.
I'm a people person. I love people, I love kids in general, and I enjoy helping. It just does something, it warms your heart because you've helped someone.
If you don't appreciate where you've been, then it's not half as rewarding when you get to where you want to go. So it's an incredible, important part of the future of Carroll County. And I think Carroll County's growing in a lot of good ways.
I think if you're familiar with historical societies, they're typically small, typically underfunded, and somewhat inclusive, not necessarily determined to be that way, but just, people that have similar interests and usually don't have a lot of space, so there isn't a lot of activity with collections, exhibits, things like that.
People kind of associate historical societies with kind of like, oh, well, it's this book talk on this or this. And I love that. I love going to hear the book talks. But for most people, they're like, oh, it's a book talk.
A lot of people for the first time say, I've never been here before. And there are a lot of things that are going on, and we've been changing exhibits much more regularly than we used to. And so I would say, the very first thing is go down and see what's going on there. Come to some of the events that we have, like our Sunday Scoop. I think that's a significant way to get more involved with the Historical Society. And on our side, it means having more events and having more exhibits to see so that people will keep coming to see what's coming up next.
We've got 3 houses that 200 years ago, 2 centuries ago, were built. And of course, the people who own the houses and occupied them related to each other. So, we have real people that we can relate to. We have events in the county that we can relate to.
And local history just has such a huge potential to impact on people. I always tell people, the telephone wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Mary Shellman reaching out to Alexander Graham Bell and saying, hey, I'll be the first operator, can you bring the telephone to Westminster? The Boy Scouts, they came here, they started here in the same way. And of course, Mary was involved until they found out she was a woman, and then she couldn't be anymore because it was a fraternal organization. This city and this county didn't just crop up from nowhere, people built it. And I think that inspires young people to realize they can make a difference if they put their mind to it. We have what we have in this city, in this county, and in this world because of people making a difference.
You don't necessarily have to be a quote-unquote history buff to be involved with the Historical Society. We have tremendous programs and events that are very entertaining, and they allow visitors to sort of dip their toes into the history side of things.
Sharing these opportunities for people to not only just get involved in the community, but to hear about local history in a fun and engaging way is really, really exciting. And I think that's the great part about the Historical Society, that it's for everyone. It's not just for one group of person. If you want to do research in the library, you can do that. If you want to be involved in hearing these untold stories, then there's an opportunity for you there. If you just want to go and participate in the, bourbon and bocce and bluegrass, there's an opportunity for you there. So it's a great opportunity to have the whole community involved in our past.
Now, more so than ever, young people are really interested in history and learning about where they came from, because they're starting to feel sort of disconnected from their past and their ancestors. So we've seen a lot of young people want to get involved, but not really know how. So I think these events are really great for getting them involved and getting more outreach for the Historical Society and giving people more opportunities to volunteer.
What I'm finding is history is what really kind of brings us together. We have that in common, and it's so much fun to learn about it, and I see it on the faces of the kids when they're listening to the songs that we're playing from that time period, and when they're playing those games. They don't want to give up the ball and cup. They think that's fun.
Access to the collections and interactive exhibits, defining our space, and offering more educational opportunities are all extremely important. There's an opportunity to engage again at a deeper level than ever before with the county school systems to help with that educational factor of local history.
I think where we can really reach students, engage them in history, is bringing in some of those local stories when kids can say, oh, that happened in my backyard, or oh, I know exactly where that place is, and really pique their interest. So not only does that engage them in history, but it will engage their families as well to maybe visit some of the sites, maybe come out to the society to learn a little more, become members.
Get involved with the community. There are so many opportunities if you just look for them, and people here are so great that I would recommend anybody to volunteer at the Historical Society. Even if you don't think it's your thing and you think it's not for you, oh, it absolutely is. So I would say don't be afraid to bridge the generational gap sometimes.
Carroll County has such an incredibly rich history. I think the beauty of it is we work together to support and maintain the history of our community, be it artifacts, be it storytelling and narratives. But as a county, I think the thing that works well with all of us is we have a common goal, which is we want to maintain that history, not just for us, but for future generations.
There is something for everyone at the Historical Society. Whether it's an event here and it's an event outside of the walls of the Historical Society, there is literally something for everyone. It's an environment where everyone is welcome and it's inclusive, and we just want everyone to be involved and to hear the amazing stories that include everyone in the Historical Society.
I'm tremendously excited about the Society's future in terms of its strategic plan, its 3-year plan that charts our course over the next few years, and all of the people that are involved with the implementation of that plan, the committees, the membership, the donors.
I think that as we have preserved with honor the past of Carroll County, have enjoyed the present, we are strategically placed to go into the future. And I am very excited about the way the society is growing, the way it's changing.
One of the things that I'm most excited about is starting a digital library. We have some wonderful things that would be available to be put on a digital library. And one of the things is to digitize the newspapers. having these online available for people to do word searching is going to be wonderful.
It's just great to see a strategic plan that's moving the organization forward. I mean, it's definitely something that you always want to consistently see as forward momentum. I think at the end of the day, you know, the Historical Society 50 years ago is not exactly going to be the Historical Society of 2023 or even say 2053. The reality is times change, organizations have to maneuver just as anything else. I think what I'm looking forward to is seeing, you know, with that strategic plan that's been placed, where does that take the Historical Society?
People give to people. People very rarely give to causes. And I think that we now have the opportunity to spread the future and the vision of the Historical Society to everyone, not only Westminster, but Carroll County.
The Historical Society represents an opportunity to inspire, and I believe that has evolved, and I believe we're on the precipice of being able to evolve to the next level.
History's all around us, be it today, be it 100 years ago, and I think the thing for all of us to remember is it's important, and something that might seem incredibly insignificant at the moment may have long-lasting historical implications. And I think the reality is just be aware, learn as much as you can, and appreciate what we have around us. Because the one thing about Carroll County that I think is incredibly special when it comes to our history, it's not only our history, but we are interconnected in so many other things on a state and national level.
All these stories that are captured in these dusty old books and archives really do have meaning, not in just because they're just facts or just information collecting dust on the shelf, but because when woven together with a larger story, reflect what the community is, what it has been, what it can be in the future.
When a person comes to Carroll County, they should hopefully want to find out about that county. A historical society is a good place to start.
Hi, my name is Jason Alari, Executive Director of the Historical Society of Carroll County. Thank you for watching our 85th anniversary documentary video, where we celebrated 85 years of our mission since 1939. I want to take a few moments and share with you what is in store for our campus over the next few months and years. In May 2024, our Board of Trustees approved a campus-wide improvements plan that has three major components. The first is continuing the accessibility, safety, and beautification work on our walkways and entryways on the campus. This work has commenced thanks to the amazing support we received at the 2024 Legacy Gala. The second component to our campus improvements plan involves expanding our interpretive options and educational opportunities on the second floor of the Sherman Fisher Shellman House. There we will install an exhibit, a bedroom dedicated to the life of Mary Shellman. The exhibit will be called From Civil War to Suffrage. That work, we hope, will commence in the fall of 2024. It will allow us to open up the idea of interpreting the entire second floor of the Sherman Fisher Shellman House. The third component of our campus improvements plan involves moving our research library from the Kimmy building to Cocky's, or Cocky's Tavern. The idea is to have the aesthetic of an old-time classic library while providing modern amenities for researchers and patrons. The exhibits that are currently in Cocky's will move to the Shriver Waybright Room in Kimmy. There we will expand our programs, our events, and have temporary exhibits in the space as well. None of this work could be done without your support, and we appreciate everything that you've done for the Historical Society for so many years. In the coming months, we will form a capital campaign committee for this work, and we will be in touch every step of the way. Again, thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting our mission.